This quick Blender tutorial shows how I used camera tracking, masks and render layers to create this effect. This is just a masking and renders layers bit of fun, and so I'm not bothered about the lighting or shadows, etc. I'm using Blender 3.5.1, working under Ubuntu 22.4.2. So things may look a little different to your operating system, but it should not make any difference. In Blender VFX, I added the iPhone video, which is 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second, and used perspective motion model, normalize, and set correlation to 0.9. I then randomly clicked on the grass and hedge to add these tracking points. If any track failed, I just added some more. I then added tracks to the upper and lower parts of the pole, which I used for parenting of the masks. I renamed these tracks top and bottom. I got a solve error of 0.32 after refining for focal length and optical centre. Selecting tracks on the grass, I defined the floor, origin, y-axis and scale, and then set the background and set up tracking scene. I then renamed the foreground and background render layers and collections to red left Suzanne and blue right Suzanne to stop me getting too confused. Then added the red and blue Suzanne meshes to the camera tracked scene, each to their own collection, which is enabled for their appropriate render layer. Then I set up these compositor nodes. The right and left masks, which are created in the next step, are applied to the right and left render layers, as is a bit of blur to match the video, and then both are applied to the iPhone video. I then created the mask for the blue right Suzanne using Control left mouse button to add the splines. The bottom spline at the edge of the pole is parented to the camera track I previously named bottom, likewise for the top pole spline. The two leftmost splines can be left out of shot as long as the mask covers the blue Suzanne as the pole moves. Invert the mask with this. I thought this would be quicker than using an invert node in the compositor, but rendering times were exactly the same. Even though the mask splines are parented to camera tracking points, I still needed to rotoscope a few points, so with auto keying enabled, I tweaked the mask splines at a few points in the video. Then I repeated this to create the mask for the red left Suzanne. I keyframed the red left Suzanne so that she was not rendered at the start. This was rendered in Eevee, and I'm using this as the shadow catcher with these sun settings. I really hope some of this is interesting or useful and welcome any constructive criticism. If you would like some more tutorials, then please subscribe. Thank you.